Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am going to be wrapping up my series, which I have been doing based off of some blog posts written during June 2025 about the official end of NaNoWriMo National Novel Writing Month, just basically unpacking a lot of complicated mixed emotions I've had about this whole thing, revisiting happy memories about it. And this is going to be talking about basically, wrapping up final thoughts, like what I miss about NaNo, what I do not miss about NaNo. Hopefully I can fit it all into one video. If not, I will split off what I will not miss into its own separate video, but I'm pretty sure I can keep it to 20-ish minutes or whatever. So anyway, and this was a blog post published on the 30th of June. This is based off of. While the official end of NaNoWriMo came almost as a relief in some ways, with the writing on the wall for at least 2 years, for the main scandal that broke in midway through NaNo 2023 at the Young Writers Program, it's also accompanied by a great deal of mourning for what was. Under founder Chris Batty, it started as a fun writing challenge where only connecting with other writers and getting to 50K mattered. Somewhere along the way, it drifted off into very off-topic territory that became more and more prominent over the years, notably the political turn. Many other word tracking websites and writing challenges have sprung up in its wake, and TrackBear let us migrate all our NaNo projects over before Kilby killed the website she was the interim director. I hope she never works in leadership again. However, that's led to a fractured feeling, with people all doing different challenges and becoming more solitary instead of unified under a common grand event. And people who are saying, oh, you don't need NaNo or any month-long writing challenge. You can write a book at any time. Yeah, of course, that's not what it was ever about. It was a community event, and particularly because writing is such a solitary pursuit for obvious reasons, it really helps us to, build our confidence and feel less alone, make connections with other writers when we're doing it as a challenge, and it's just a special thing knowing so many writers around the world, not just at your own local writing area in your own solitary room or in the library or whatever. They're all starting the moment midnight strikes on November 1st, and they're all coming to an end the moment midnight comes to December 1st. And I saw this dude on Twitter just a few hours ago or whatever saying oh, NaNo shouldn't have been a month thing, you can write it anytime, blah blah blah. He claimed it was a bunch of gatekeeping Karens. So nice casual misogyny there, dude. Some people just do not understand the whole purpose of NaNo, and if you never did it or you thought it was just Karens doing it, I hate that word, it's misogynistic slur. Why are you even commenting on it? Just move on and tweet about other things. But anyway, MRA is gonna MRA. Things I'll miss about NaNo. The aforementioned feeling of community, of being united with writers from all over the world pursuing a common goal. Getting little prizes at write-ins for getting the highest word count in a sprint, or getting to a certain number of words in those 20 minutes. So, for example, tiny notebooks, gel pens, bookmarks, stickers, magnets. And at the first time I did officially NaNo in 2014, our head ML, Shannon, she gave off these little I deleted this out of the blog post because I wasn't sure exactly what material they're made out of. Glass probably would have been too expensive, and maybe they were paste, just basically little fake diamonds of various sizes. You could string them together into a necklace for making the minimum word count during each of the 20-minute sprints we were doing at Professor Java's, and I think she gave out the fake diamonds throughout that NaNo. So just really fun stuff, and you could often choose your own little prize from a box they passed around. So that I see the person next to me, or oh, that's something I want, oh, keep that in mind for the next write-in, oh yeah, happy day that no one had claimed that prize, and so I got it at the next write-in for getting the most words. So it's just one of many things I just loved about NaNo. We were rewarded for meeting the word count. Again, people who just bashes, oh, gatekeeping Karens, they don't understand a writing challenge and community, what that's all about. Seeing that word count tracker rising higher and higher. The TGIO party, that was a great relief of stress, a great release of stress, and just having fun, kicking back and relaxing with your writing friends. Making friends with the people in my first writing group. Friendships nurtured all year thanks to meeting every Sunday, even in non-NaNo months. That was one of the many things. I mean, I'm not personally bashing anyone in the writing group in this area I am in currently, or the former writing group at this point, but it's just people didn't meet every week throughout the whole year. So people, by necessity, they were not as connected emotionally and personally and meaningfully as back home in the capital region of New York. I wish all writing groups were like that. The fun badges we got for things like milestone word counts, meeting the minimum required word count every day, Declaring a project, being a planner or pantser, starting with a brand new story, being a Nano rebel, so many things. And I do have at least some 2 screenshots I took of my badges before the website went dark. I love collecting little screenshots, like documenting basically the single, I like tracking my progress across each day, and just little fun things on the graphics on the, oh, get ready to declare your project, it's open now, or get ready for Camp Nano, or now you can validate. And it was such a fun, warm experience. The old website, it was just so much better than the new one for many reasons. The fun animals corresponding to our typical writing time, like the night owl and midday flamingo on the new website, just about the only thing I liked about it. And the dragon on the challenge yourself part of the sidebar, breathing fire as it's sitting in front of a computer. I love dragons. Who doesn't love dragons? I think my favorite all-time dragon will always be Mr. Dragon on the classic Mac game, The Manhole, which is now you can purchase it in the App Store for your iPhone, although it's not really the same in color and with different voices. But anyway, dragons totally rock. Speaking of, though I never took advantage of this, the chance to work on your own project anytime throughout the year by setting a goal for anything you wanted. Getting swag for our avatar when we hit 50K, like a ribbon sort of thing, like purple ribbons around the bottom, the bottom side of the circle around our avatar, and a gold medal underneath the avatar. And again, when we reach milestone years of being a Rimo and winning, but back when the message boards were still a thing, you could see this easily and know, oh yeah, this person is an overachiever or got 50K, or this one is a veteran. The message boards, which truly had something for everyone: research, editing, Nano rebels, overachievers, all the major genres, areas of the world, hobbies, post-Nano life, you name it. The little video message we got upon hitting 50K. The awesome winter goodies like discounts on Scrivener and great courses, and a code for free title setup at Ingram Spark. The winner certificates, which we could fill in with our names, titles, and date of hitting 50K. Each year had a different design, and Camp Nano also had different themes. I love my collection of these. They're such happy, fun memories, and every year they were so cool and original and creative with new designs. And anyway, things I won't miss: the sense of isolation and disconnection, which began in 2020 and never fully eased, even after the board finally okayed a return to in-person write-ins in 2022. Even the fauxgressive wokesters out in the Berkeley area, they realized, oh, the world really can't. It shouldn't stay locked down forever. Now we have to go back to living normal life. The permanent editor mode I gradually fell into, becoming more pronounced and difficult to ditch in Nano months. Instead of letting words flow freely and effortlessly, I often wrote and rewrote phrases and sentences over and over again, or passages I knew very well would immediately be CNP'd out of non-Nano file, and I should go into that more in detail in a video based on a blog post talking about the deleterious effect Nano had on many of my writing habits. The feeling of personal failure and not living up to the best of what I knew I was capable of when I began falling behind so soon and so badly in the final years. That chart didn't lie. Pulling an all-day marathon on day 30 to force myself to crank out as many words as possible, making myself sick and stressed out in the process, and crashing as soon as midnight struck. Devolving into frantically typing rambling, cluttery junk as the minutes and seconds crept closer to midnight on that final day, making so many typos as I went along. Knowing the board cared less about fixing massive issues that destroyed so many people's trust in the organization. They didn't even bother to hire new people for a replacement board, and kept the same small interim board, which had shrunk to just kill me by the end, and there might have been a tech support person or an intern, whatever, just to officially claim for tax purposes, oh, we're not a one-woman operation. See, we have 2 people on our board now. Pushing divisive politics instead of keeping the focus on, writing. Wow, imagine that. An old-fashioned thing. Why the hell does a writing organization need a page chronicling every single political stance they took, nothing to do with writing, and bragging about sacking or chastising MLs who didn't enthusiastically embrace this turn? And I'm looking at a screenshot I took. I'm pretty sure this was the final Nano. I think it was the last 2 years of Nano when you won. It was a new feature. You could enter your title into a database of winners. I never really perused the database to see other people's titles. It wasn't really of interest to me, but again, if that was a thing you liked, that might have been cool. And so they had this stupid codes of conduct, you title in title and author information must adhere to the codes of conduct hyperlink for our website. And yeah, get ready for a whole word salad, like all the isms and phobias. That includes the following guidelines: no violent and or sexually explicit content, no profanity, no hate speech, i.e. racist, sexist, ableist, homophobic, transphobic, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, xenophobic, ageist, fatphobic, classist, or other bigoted language. I mean, I have said like so many times, mostly in blog posts, like people throw around like real words and phrases with very specific meanings so much it creates a boy crying wolf effect, and pretty much impossible to have serious conversations about real like issues. They've kind of become like jokes, like, oh, trigger warning, instead of like understanding that's an actual real thing for people with like psychological triggers, not just, oh, mentioning like hair and I don't like the texture of hair, oh, I'm so triggered. Like, it's, these things are real issues and concepts, and I just hate how they've been like reduced to jokes because people like throw them around, and particularly because, and again, a boy crying wolf effect when anything and everything's like fat phobic. Like, how are you going to know when there is actual like fat phobia going on or anything else like they like called out? The board encouraging people to squeal on anyone they discovered had arranged in-person writings during the COVID years. And just getting back to what I was saying, raising the rough about the most vaguely defined hate speech in titles submitted by writers. And again, like, what were they thinking? Who's going to actually have a book, even if that might have been the subject? Oh, yay for the KKK. Like, what? What kind of title were they seriously thinking would fit those like hate speech qualifications? I seriously want to know what example they would consider fat phobic, like a word that's basically meaningless. My happy journey to losing 200 pounds, because that would admit like obesity is really not healthy, and being fat is not an immutable characteristic like being black or like being an amputee, you lost your limbs. It's something you can change and not something that's like positive. Would an Islamophobic, everyone's favorite like buzzword that's become totally meaningless, title be when Rana took off her hijab? Because that means not all Islamic or Muslim women like to wear the hijab. Like, some of them are actually forced to wear it in places like Iran, and they can be unalived and tortured and essayed if they like take it off, or even if it's like they're wearing it but like too many hairs are out of place, or one little hair, like you're not wearing it properly. So again, what the F are they defining as all of these things? Like, I could use so many more examples. And how dare they pretend to care about anti-Semitism, which they didn't even spell correctly. They used the spelling with the hyphen and the capital S. I used that until 2021, and then I like found out that's not what people use anymore, the standard like accepted spelling. There's so many reasons for that. That's a whole other video, but again, it really shows like how much they're keeping up with like actual Jewish community and what anti-Semitism really is when they're using that seriously outdated spelling with the hyphen and the capital S. And so anyway, how dare they pretend to care about that when they goy-splained anti-Semitism and like Jewish identity and history and people and everything else to their Israeli MLs, and demanded they listen to extremely unrepresentative organizations made up of self-hating Jews and non-Jews and people pretending to be Jewish. The annoyance of going back and forth between the files for my work in progress and the master NaNo word count file for all that copying and pasting, which became even more cumbersome when I switched to being a NaNo rebel, also counting creative nonfiction from blog posts and handwritten journal entries. Hand counting said journal entries, putting that total through a lorem ipsum generator, and copying and pasting that into the master file. This was the bulk of what I did in 2023, when my main project was handwritten, and I have a video talking about why I decided to handwrite for that particular project. Just the overall feeling of NaNo's original purpose having been lost, and the carefree atmosphere and fun being replaced by a strange, foreboding new entity. Perhaps NaNo will someday be resurrected in a new and improved version, returning to its roots like we can all dream. Writing is such a solitary pursuit, and we need community support and connections for encouragement. Like, despite what that like MRA said, like, oh, it's all gatekeeping. Karens, you can write a book at any time. So then write a book at any time. Don't join a writing community you don't know jack squat about. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching all the way through to the end. Please leave me a comment down below letting me know your memories and thoughts about NaNo. Did you ever like do it? Like, how long did you participate? Like, were you as blindsided and turned off as I was about their turn to divisive politics? Like, are you wishing ill will towards Kilby, like she never works in leadership again after what she did to NaNo, basically giving a huge middle finger to all of us, just all sorts of things, and like what writing challenges you have started doing like in the meantime besides NaNo, or if you've decided to just like do it on your own for now, because like TrackBear and like For the Words and other groups like that, I mean, not groups, web pages, and they're great. I'm not knocking them or people who do them at all, but they're just not really the same. They don't have all this exact features NaNo did, like the word count and the whole like participating with the whole worldwide global community. But anyway, so just let me know all of your like thoughts and memories and feelings, whatever, about NaNo when it's official ending. So thanks for watching. Bye.